I'm going to show you how to create a Sabatier or solarization effect in Photoshop and Photopea. First, you open your image. I'm doing this in Photopea, but the same actions are the same in Photoshop. So I have my image here. I want to make sure that this is the correct size. So I go to image size, and I have it set to inches, and you can see it's a rather large image, 56 inches. So I'm going to take it down to 10. Click here, and it will constrain the proportions. And I want to up the resolution to 300. I'm going to click OK. And there it is. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the background. Duplicate layer. And then I'm going to go up to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, and I'm going to do Curves right here. All right, so right now you don't see anything happening. I am going to drag this up. I'm going to create a center point, drag this down, and you can start to experiment with the different values and effects that come from adjusting the layers. It's really personal in how you want it to look. You can work with dragging that over and create any type of look that you want. If you're happy with that, you just finish it, and you can save it as a JPEG and turn it in. There are other ways to adjust and to just keep experimenting with it. I'm now going to show you another way, and I'm just going to keep this on the same tab. I'm going to duplicate this layer, drag it above. I have the original image again, and this time I'm going to do a selected area. So I'm going to take my ellipse tool, selection tool. I'm putting in 50 up here underneath the feathering, and I'm going to drag it across the little chalets here and select that area. But what I actually want to ultimately do is have the chalets stay the same. So I don't want to alter them in any way, but I want to alter the background. So how you do that is right now, these buildings are selected. But if I go up to select and I do inverse, it is now selecting the background. I'm now going to go back up to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, Curves, select Curves, and it creates this mask that's only going to affect this area around the buildings. So in the curves, on the curves layer, I'm going to do what I did before, is drag this little tab up, and you can see it's only adjusting the background. I'm going to create a center point. And what the feathering does is it kind of just softens the edge so it's not so hard. But you can just do a lot of different things with this just by selecting different areas. I'm going to drag this side over. So you can kind of see, looks like everything around this little protected bubble is going crazy, and then the buildings are staying the same. So, So there is doing it by doing a selected area. So that can be a fun little experimentation and alternative way to do the solarization / Sabatier effect. Now, you can also do this as a grayscale. So I'm going to take this, duplicate my layer, drag it above, and I'm not going to select the area, so I'm going to Control D, deselect. And in order to turn this grayscale, I'm going to go Image, Adjustments, Desaturate, and now I have it as a grayscale. I'm then going to go to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, Curves, and I'm going to start. I might just take that up part way, take this down over a little bit. I think I'm going to take the highlights back. Oops, that highlights up a little bit. Ooh. And then you can just kind of experiment this way. Drag this guy over a little bit. And it starts to look very kind of ominous, but it's a lot of contrast. And you can create some interest that way. Once you get the curves done, sometimes you might want to work with the levels with the grayscale. So I'm going to do New Adjustment Layer, and I'm going to do levels. And I will drag this over to the beginning of the histogram, and you can see now it's also kind of, working with the colors. That's because I have it on green. I want it on RGB. And here you can just kind of create some highlights, some lighten the whites, maybe bring in just a little more of the midtones. And there you have it. So through levels and curves, adjustment layers, you can create an image that looks like a saboteur or a solarization that mimics what we can do in the darkroom.